Hello everyone, I'm Berit Børte, who has the privilege to have a visit today by the fantastic Eddie Stone, the founder and the CEO of Touchstone Essentials, who have these incredible products who are helping so many in the times we are facing today. And yes, I would love to hear more from you, why you have chosen to be founding this company and have these products.
Yeah, and thank you for the chance to be here and to talk with everybody that's listening to us or watching, I should say. So I'm 61 years old, and really the bulk of my career has been spent in the field of health and nutrition. I think I got started my mid to late 20s, so a long time. It's kind of all that I know. And initially, what I was interested in is just kind of looking around at people and the challenges that are out there to sort of eat right, kind of whatever that definition is, but I think we all know it's probably more fresh fruits and vegetables, less animal protein, fried foods, common sense stuff. But if you look at the lifestyle that people have in today's modern world, go, what you have access to is really ultra processed fast foods, and it leaves us with, and the medical community confirms this, with a real gap between the nutrition that we need and nutrition that we have. And so it's really hard to eat right? I mean, it takes a lot of time and effort, and it's expensive, and so I have a real understanding of why people wind up, not eating as well as they should. And at least in the States, there's books and things that refer to us as a fast food nation. I don't think that's a compliment. So I've always felt that there was a role for vitamins and nutritional supplements to bridge the gap between where people are with their nutrition and where they want to be. And if you are properly nourished, trying to live a good lifestyle, things like that, the benefits are really how you feel, energy levels. It can impact longevity, and it can reduce your risk of disease, right? Cardiovascular disease, cancer, diabetes, things like this. We know lifestyle impacts those factors. So having been in the industry my whole career, one of the things that I found over time, and it's kind of like the more you know, sometimes maybe it changes your opinion on things. A lot of supplements that people buy aren't what they quite perceive. They probably think they're getting something from a fresh fruit and vegetable, but actually it's a synthesized petrochemical or some derivative of some food manufacturing, and so they're not really whole food, complete compounds. Generally, you can refer to them as isolates. You can even refer to them as synthetics in many cases, because they're not really made from a fruit or vegetable source. And I mean, when I say what people buy and consume in that category, I mean, I'm talking about probably 98, 99% of what's out there. So, and I think most people, from a common sense standpoint, they really learned all this, right? They pay a little more attention. So I felt like in 2011, I was in a career change, an opportunity to kind of go back into the supplement industry, directly focused on fruits and vegetable based products. And so that was the inspiration for the Touchstone line, and along the way realizing the importance of organic and things that kind. So it's a very clean product line. It's made from broccoli, kale, cabbage, tomato, all these good things, which is really where the synergies of all those fruits and vegetables can combine, and the impact has been profound for people. We've got tens of thousands of customers in countries all over the world that are really enjoying our products.
Testimonials are quite nice also, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's 40,000 5-star reviews. These are all reviews that publicly put together. We didn't
you're not controlling them even.
No, so they can give us a bad review. It's there for the pub to see. So the bad reviews are kind of wounding, but we try to learn from them. But really, people enjoy the products a lot, appreciate the effort that goes into them, and then the benefits, of course, are what drive things for us. That's what's created the growth that we've enjoyed. Is you help somebody sleep better, feel more energetic. Maybe their blood panels improve, and their doctor says you have less risk of disease. I mean, all these things, right, are the kind of source of our success and inspiration.
Yes, absolutely. I can say 100%. My health is improved so much when I'm using it, and I started out with Pure Body Extra as
Detox.
the detox zeolite. That was the first I was introduced to by your company.
Yeah.
And I have used products now for 6-7 years, and I have collaborating with Touchstone since 2020, May 2020.
And you've been doing a great job.
Okay,
And we
thank you.
appreciate what you've done. You've helped us expand to lots of places around the world, but including Norway, where
Yes.
that's your home country. So it's really a lot of fun to see and inspiring.
It is super inspiring to work with this company because it's authentic. It has this integrity in what they are doing, and I was so happy I jumped on board with your company. I haven't done this before, so I was lucky to meet the right one at the first time. So I'm yes, the inflammation in the body is gone from in my case, and my body feels better than it was when I was 20. So and this is not what I'm saying lightly either, because it is what it is. It's possible to change your health immensely, and yeah, we just have to do the right thing, and not. We are natural, so we need natural products, and here you have nothing artificial added at all.
No.
So and you also say that not going on compromising on the quality of the products and the ingredients, and I also have heard that you are picking not very cheap ingredients either. So can you tell a little bit about
Yeah, I mean, I have to imagine it's hard for me to know everybody's numbers that we compete with, but I know our cost of goods are significantly higher than what would be typically found, let's say, for a greens powder. We have our super green juice.
Yes.
It's a great product. It tastes good. It's hard to get a greens product that tastes good without sugar.
Yes.
This doesn't have sugar.
Yes.
44 different organic fresh fruits and vegetables, and so it's a lot of fun to work with. But those things are expensive,
Yes.
and so we know a lot of our competitors, they're pasteurizing and doing things that would really denature some of those nutrients. They're mixing in synthetics with real fruits and vegetables, and so we just have made a decision that we're not going to compromise in that regard. We're going to offer it at a fair and competitive price, make it convenient, make it taste good, and we found that people like that.
Yes.
And so it's been highly successful in that regard, and I think we're giving people what they want.
Yes. First time I had no expectations actually when I took the super green juice the first time, but my body was like, yes, this is something I really like. And I hear also this from so many others, that they are so surprised that, wow, the body really loves this.
It does, and it's very, so the entire product line is designed to be synergistic, so that you can use them together, and we think together there's more benefit than, say, just individually.
Yep.
And so, one of our ethos is for people to think about detox. We live in a toxic world, probably more so than people even really recognize, and literally tens of thousands of chemicals in the air, water supply, and so it's hard to get away from it.
The fabrics.
I mean, everywhere you go, right?
Everywhere.
And so, and there's no way in a modern world to get away from that, right? We're not going to be able to live in a bubble and not have these exposures, and we got to recognize that our bodies are quite capable of detox, but maybe not at this level. And so people wind up with acute issues from just general toxicity, as well as diseases can be born from toxic exposure, particularly heavy metals.
Yes.
We know that those can be quite damaging to the body, to the DNA, how the cell system works. And so we have a strong ethos that you sort of start with detoxification.
Exactly.
Got a great mineral product, our zeolite product, our Pure Body Regular, Pure Body Extra do fantastic and quite complemented with the fulvic minerals. But people forget, which is where I was kind of going with this, how complementary the super green juice is.
Yeah.
Deep green leafy vegetables, cruciferous vegetables really support the body's internal detox mechanisms, and really that's part of it from a scientific strategy standpoint. It's all about supporting the body's, your native systems. Your body is quite miraculous in what it can do, and it really just needs good fuel and good tools and things to support its own abilities to detox your kidney, your liver. They do a great job, right? And so all we need to just make sure we're paying attention in what we're putting in to support these systems.
Exactly. Yes, because I'm a biodynamic craniosacral therapist myself, and we are working with the same thing. The body knows how to
Yes.
come back into balance again, but it has to have the tools to and help to come back into balance again. And the toxins are blocking our inner communication, and it's very, very harmful to our body.
Sure.
So it's essential to remove them. And the zeolite, let me see where it is. Yeah, the zeolite spray is a very, very gentle way to do that. So this was in your first product line, wasn't it?
Yes, yes. Yeah. So we actually, the very first release in the category, I don't see it here, is our Pure Body Regular. That's the one with the green label.
Yeah.
And then that was quickly followed up with our Pure Body Extra. There you go, see it. Yeah. And this was all, we launched in 2012, the early part of 2012, and shortly thereafter, the Pure Body Extra joined Pure Body Regular. And that's really been a sort of a staple, and I think one of the identifying qualities that the company has. I mean, literally millions of bottles out there, and you know, it's a hidden, toxins are a hidden impact on people's health.
Yes.
But the way I tell people to think about it is, if you've ever owned an automobile, I imagine most people here have, there's an air filter, there's an oil filter. If you don't maintain those, almost like the furnace filters in your home, if you don't maintain those, right, those systems can't work properly. They're almost, in a case of a car, an air filter, be starving for oxygen, right, which is necessary for the engine to operate. Well, same thing is for human beings, right? And unfortunately, we can't just take our lungs out and go rinse them off or clean them up, can't pull the liver out, and you know, so you know, you've got to try to give it to them. That's right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and so for those watching, right, you're probably developing or seeing a theme here, which is that we're trying, you know, as hard as we can with the technology and science available to support the body's ability to detox heavy metals, other environmental pollutants, and then first line of that is our zeolite products, Pure Body Regular, Pure Body Extra. Also, our fulvic minerals is supportive of that regard, particularly gut health. Just tremendous, right? I don't know if we have enough time to go through all the details.
It's all the minerals you need, and it comes naturally, so the body can actually uptake these minerals. So
it comes out of a plant-based bog. Yeah, and so that means they're digested. Yes. There, and so you're right in that its ability to be absorbed and used by the body is just far greater than something that's not been processed by a plant.
Exactly.
And so then we have our green energy, which is a series of plant-based proteolytic enzymes, and for what those that don't know what that means, they're enzymes that target proteins and break those down. And amazing what excess proteins do to impact our energy level. They surround the red blood cells and slow their movement and take up the space they would normally have to process oxygen. Your red blood cells help to process oxygen. And so you do things to sort of sequester, break those apart, support how the body would metabolize those proteins, right? You're going to feel better. That's why we call it green energy. And the green is a play on words because it doesn't have caffeine. So it's not a stimulant or a stimulating source of energy. It's just how your body would function without the junk. Exactly. And so this is an anti-protein junk product that's likewise been very successful. So we have enjoyed quite a popularity with them.
Yes, I also have been introduced them when I stopped drinking coffee with caffeine, because my body was like so it was too much for me to drink coffee. But so I used the green energy to keep the balance in energy level. And when I take 2 capsules of this in the morning, my energy level is balanced throughout the whole day. So it's really, really amazing. And
if you've never, I'll say something, if you've never tried it, I use it in the morning as well, best on empty stomach. Yes. I also use it quite often before I go to bed.
Oh, really?
And particularly if I've had a long day and I feel like it positively impacts my sleep. And I don't think we often think about how our body's functioning at night while we're sleeping. And so for those sometimes that don't sleep so well, it's a tremendous product. You may give it a try. You know, might not give you the same impact, but we've seen real benefits.
Yeah, try it out. So, and now it's also coming in a protocol from Dr. Peter McCullough. He is also having these ingredients in this, nattokinase and bromelain, as his protocol for the spike protein, and blood clotting and that sort of thing, because it breaks up the fibrin.
Yeah, that's right. So let me just say this though. So what medical doctors are able to do in terms of their protocols, right, are quite different. As a company, we're not suggesting that it treats or mitigates disease, right? These are just simply supports. But you will find physicians out there with great enthusiasm making this a part of a protocol for their patients. So that's always, great to see, and sort of this further confidence builder in what products can ultimately do.
Exactly. So it's several doctors, like Dr. Wendy Myers. She also are collaborating with the Touchstone Essentials.
Sure is. Dr. Myers sure is. Yeah.
Yes.
Great person.
So and she also have some slogan, you pay now or you pay later.
It's true. People don't think about it, right? All those bad habits when we're younger, right? Our bodies can really overcome quite a bit when we're younger. But man, as you get older, not as easy, right? You don't just leap out of bed. Maybe you throw your feet off and gravity gets you out of bed.
Exactly.
So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. As you said, we are not treating anything with this product, but it's just for everyone just to find out themselves what's in PubMed studies and so on, and you can find the ingredients on the products.
And for all of our products on our shop page, you'll notice there's a science tab sort of below the fold. And so anybody looking for FAQs, questions about the products, or reviews even are there, as well as links to scientific papers to support the work.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then we also have the glucose control.
Yeah, so glucose control is fairly recent, right? Over a year ago. And this is a series of natural plant-based enzymes that, in their working together, right, it's a synergistic approach to this, will help to bind with excess glucose in the gut. And so just to kind of give you a way to think about it, right, when you eat, right, invariably there are carbohydrates when you eat, right, lots of nutrients are based on carbohydrates. There's also carbohydrates that aren't as nutrient filled, right, candies, sugars, breads, cheap pastas and things like this. So what we see is when the body is breaking down these carbohydrates, it's turning them into sugar, and your glucose rises. And of course your pancreas responds with insulin, right? That's how the body works. However, particularly as we get older, we're not quite as effective at that process as we used to be. And in fact, at least in the States, they estimate upwards of 90% of adults, by the time they're in their mid-30s or 40s, are insulin resistant, which means they're either not quite making enough insulin in the pancreas, or it's of a lower quality. And so this leads to weight gain, all kinds of metabolic disorders, and of course we know the negative health impacts, right, of type 2 diabetes, which is more lifestyle driven. Type 1 is not, it would be considered lifestyle driven. And so we know anything to help control blood sugars makes sense. If you use this product, taking 1 or 2 capsules, I use it myself, there's information to support this on our website, it will help. So if you use it an hour, best to use it an hour prior to a meal, but even if it's just at mealtime, whatever's convenient for you, it will, as those glucoses, or as your glucose is rising, those carbohydrates are breaking down in the gut, it will bind with some of those sugars and turn them into a hard starch or a fiber substance. This is a great way to think about it. And now that really can't impact your glucose in the same manner. And so it's terrific. I mean, I have to say it's one of the most enthusiastic things that I've been around seeing released. I mean, I'm happy that we have the chance to offer this to people, and I use it religiously. I've struggled in the past with my blood sugars, and at a certain point you realize that's not a good idea. You don't feel as good, you don't sleep as well, of course leads to weight gain. And so I've just really appreciated taking a natural approach, and there aren't very many that are offered to us. So it's great.
Very, very, very good. Yes, I had to go down 2 jeans sizes after I started with the glucose control, and that's the middle waist type of.
Always fun to buy new jeans. That's fantastic.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
We should make a collaboration with the jean industry.
Yes, exactly. And can you tell us a little bit shortly about the products coming up?
Yeah, so we have two really significant releases in 2025. The first one is called Parashield. One of the things that's kind of clear when you look at the global health landscape is how many people struggle with parasites or microorganisms that aren't healthy for the body system,
Yeah.
particularly in the gut.
Yeah.
And for most people, there's just not a lot of good natural alternatives to use to support. And ultimately, what you want to do with a parasite product is make your body an inhospitable host, so that the parasite doesn't want to stay there, can't really stay there, and so they evacuate the body. We are using a combination of herbal ingredients that have been used for, decade upon decade to support the body's management of parasites. It's a combination, it's a recipe we think is quite unique in terms of what it can do. We have, from preliminary work, all of our testing and research, got really quite high hopes about how effective this will be, and it's at a very cost-effective price, and more importantly, you can tolerate the taste. Man, a lot of these products just taste so terrible, right? You would know it's good for you, you can't do it. So, and now I'm not promising it's like a milkshake or something, but it's pretty darn good, and so I don't think people struggle at all, even for kids, because it can be used by kids 3 and up.
Wow.
So we're excited about that. And then following that, in the late spring, we have a product that is designed to support healthy aging. And so for those that kind of know the anti-aging subject matter, we do have an aging global population.
Yeah.
Barrett and I don't want to admit it, but we're getting a little older, right? We got to think about these things.
We are, but we're just halfway.
Just halfway.
We should listen to Bill Andrews.
Yeah. So if you look at the details, and we're working with Dr. Bill Andrews, a world-renowned figure in this category, really quite extraordinarily, a gentleman that's life has really been dedicated to curing aging. I mean, that's his description, which I think is really this cool thing to think about. Our focus is to work on the health of the telomere.
Yeah.
And so not to get too far into the science here, but basically we have trillions of cells in our body, and those cells are always turning over. They're always replicating, dying off, growing new, and that's sort of how our body system works. Some do it at different rates than others. What keeps it all on track from these thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of replications of our lifetime is at the end of your DNA strand, that's a part of that makeup, is a telomere. And you might think of it like a little tail. And it's the guide. It's the principle guiding how that cell knows to become the same cell it was before, whether that's in the cardiac muscle or the gut or whatever it happens to be. And as we age, or as these replications take place, ever so slightly, that telomere is shortening. And the process is quite interesting. It's sort of one size at inception, when the egg and the sperm meet, and then when you're born, you've probably already used up about half of your telomeres. That's how intense, right, the birth process is. And so we only have a finite amount of telomere. It's not something that's infinite in that regard. There is a limitation to what cell life can look like, at least for what science and mankind know today. And currently, there is no gene therapy to lengthen the telomere. There is no drug therapy. I think there are organizations that have worked on this in the past that are working on it today, but clearly right now around the world, there's no solution here, because it really is sort of that fundamental piece of curing aging. And so what we know, though, about the body is those telomeres are impacted by a substance called telomerase, which is an enzyme the body makes that helps to repair, or at least keep static, the size of that telomere. And particularly when we talk about short telomeres, there's long and there's short telomeres. And so we produce telomerase. Unfortunately, as we age, lifestyle, all these things we've kind of been discussing before, we don't do as good a job of that as we once did when we were younger. And so the challenge then is that while today, if you sort of, estimates are, if you lived a perfect lifestyle, perfect genes, perfect, all conditions were perfect, you could probably live to about 120, maybe a little longer, but it's hard to think about a different number than that. And it would be because your telomeres have sort of reached the expiration point where they can help the cell replicate, and organ failure and other things like that would take place. Now listen, most of us would love to be really healthy,
Yes.
and make it to 120 based upon what we know today. But the science is that with the telomerase, there's a way to impact the health of that telomere, and the goal then is to extend that healthy lifespan beyond 120. What can be accomplished, we'll know decades into the future, but we know that these substances we're working with have a positive impact on the production of telomerase, and in fact, based upon the research we have access to and what we've seen, more so than anything else in the natural world to date. And it's just a really powerful combination, and we're excited. Maybe you can tell we got a lot of excitement.
Yes.
2025 is going to be a big year for us.
It will be super big, and these two products are super important together with this telomere product. So because
control the blood sugar,
control the blood sugar,
get rid of the heavy metals.
Yeah.
These are things that will impact the quality of your health in the moment.
Yeah.
Energy, sleep, even things like brain fog.
Yes.
As well as into the future, right? Reducing risk of disease.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so happy and grateful for that you took your time. We are actually in Caribbean at the moment.
We are
on a Touchstone trip. So I'm so happy you had the time to come and share your story. And and I would also say this is a family-owned business.
Sure is.
And company, and that's what we like now.
For us, it means that we can pursue our passions,
Yes.
as you would probably at home, right? Or those watching, right? So, common sense approaches. Sometimes business can be muddled because there's debt or stakeholders that aren't really passionate about what you're doing or nutritional supplements. And for us, it's a family-owned business with no debt and just a 100% focus on putting the good out there, leaving the bad out, and impacting people's lives in a positive way. And we feel privileged to be able to do that and to see people's reactions and have the opportunities to spend time with yourself and others. I think we've got there are dozens upon dozens of people on this cruise from all over the world that are a part of our organization and support what we do, and so it's even great just to have time together.
Yes, it is. So thank you so much, Eddie, for
thank you.
stepping by and shared your story.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.